Hey y'all, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans.
Yes.
I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And on Instagram and Ravelry, you can find me as Toolizzforyou, Toolizzforyou.
And I'm cpredmor on Ravelry, and I have been posting periodically, or not, well, every so often, in Instagram as Knitting in Our Jeans. I have not posted the latest picture of our garden because it seems to be having some kind of identity problem. And my husband is not listening to me when I said I've made a mistake with the amount of watering, and he's going off on a toot. Whatever. Yes, right? I mean, he was the one who opened all the shades and let all the bright sunshine on it.
So either it's the fact that tomatoes apparently should not be grown in a thing with another item. Like they should be grown in their own arrow situation. Or they have been sunburned.
No possibility, because he loves to open those blinds.
Oh, I know. Or there might be some sort of fungal thing happening. But that's hard to tell because we don't have any spots.
No spots.
So,
I think I actually dehydrated them.
So it could be a combination of
Yes.
sunburn and dehydration.
Yes. So I will work harder at trying to make sure they have the right amount of water.
We can see.
So anyway, I have not taken a picture of the ailing tomato plants.
They do look slightly sad.
They do. They do. I may have stunted them.
A bit.
A bit. So anyway, that's what's
The
going
other thing
on
you
there.
might want to try is also shaking them so that
Okay.
they pollinate. Because
Okay.
we have flowers, which is
We
a
do.
very good sign.
Yes.
But we do not have... They say you should see fruit within a week or two of flowers.
It's been a week of flowers, so I can
And
shake them.
we've been about 2 weeks with flowers.
Really? Well, I can shake them.
Yeah, well, they say shake or, they
There
say...
was some massage with a toothbrush, I
Yes, yes, they did. The Arrow Garden people said you could take a electric toothbrush and massage the stems.
Yeah. I mean, me and my toothbrush will be down there. Probably
Oh,
give
yeah.
them hysteria.
Yes. So that is our social medias
Yes.
and our update on the
Garden. Yes.
I have started back at work, as we said, so we are staying as far apart as we physically can
Yes.
due to the
In
screen.
here, I mean, but downstairs it's at least 6 feet.
Yeah.
So,
So we are being quite conscious of this.
yes.
We will probably be recording from a different location next week. Not sure what that location will be, but you'll see it when you see it.
What are you talking about?
Well, because if you've decided to just take to your bed,
That's true. Okay. Sorry.
or if we're just doing it downstairs,
Right.
the least amount of stress on you
My
next
knee
week.
is getting partially replaced on Saturday, which is what she's blithering on about. So
Yes.
Sunday, being the day after surgery, it may require, bedroom posting rather than being in here, although the bedroom's right next door.
I'm
so
just saying.
we'll see. We have
We'll
no
see.
idea.
We
No
have
idea. No.
But I am on mommy duty.
We
On
are
Sunday.
expressed that the Tour de France is on.
Oh,
and
yes.
So I have 2 weeks. Well, not 2 weeks. I have 1 week after surgery of the tour. I may have to buy that NBC Gold again so I can watch all the bike races all year long.
Oh no.
Oh, yes. I don't know if they cheer me up. What can I tell you?
But yes, so it is Labor Day, so I hope you all were able to get some rest and recuperation and celebrate a pseudo end to summer. I don't know. I feel this year we're not really going to have all of the typical makings of the different seasons. So, it is what it is.
We were out today and we were sailing and it was
Yes,
lovely.
it was. It was.
It really
So.
was. I mean, I ended up actually putting on a
I put on a sweatshirt as well.
fleece, but a polar fleece,
Yes.
not a sheep fleece, at the end of the sail because it was coolish.
Yeah.
And I have to say, up until a week and a half ago, it was so hot when we went sailing that if you came into the ladies' room at the club afterwards and peeled your clothes off, went to the bathroom, it was hard to get them back up because they were sticking all the way up your leg because you were so wet.
Yeah.
Yes.
This
That's
is the
wet.
problem with wearing your leggings.
Yes.
Then.
Yes, it is a problem.
With jeans, I didn't have that. I very rarely had that problem.
Leggings is that problem, but the jeans make me so hot.
See, they tend to protect me from bruises more, because I don't know how, I don't know why, but I seem to get less bruises.
Normally, I'm running around the boat, and the jeans really
for you, yes,
are too heavy.
Yeah.
So jeggings would be perfect, and I have some. I actually have some Talbot's jeggings, I think. They were for this year, but I didn't wear them. I'll have to find them for next year. Because, I don't really think I'm going to be sailing again.
I don't think so.
Think so.
Dad's hopeful for 2 weeks after surgery. It was very cute.
You're going to be able to go to physical therapy. If you can go to physical therapy, you should be able to get on the boat.
No.
Anyway, I don't think so, but we won't press the issue right now.
No, not now. But other than that, we're doing well. I think. Yeah. I don't know. I've been very tired this week.
Have you?
Yes. Well, I've fallen asleep very early the last few days. If you haven't noticed.
Well, no, you're on the couch with me.
Right.
So we have an L-shaped. You like this L-shape? An L-shaped couch, and I'm on this end, and it's at least 6 feet long.
Yeah.
And then she's on the other end. So that's how we're staying 6 feet away, because we're on different ends of the couch.
Yes.
Yes.
But I've just been sleepy. So, other than that, I've been working away on my Engle. Last week we had the baptism, so I got to finish the body during the drive to Jersey for that. So the body is done. So and now I'm working on the sleeves. I've got 6 inches of the 12 inches I need for the before the color work of the sleeves. When I hit 12 inches, I'm going to try it on and just confirm that I don't want to make the sleeves any longer. But yeah, I'm trucking along. I still want to make the Herkka. It's another Caitlin Hunter that's out of Surrey alpaca, and it's very pretty, and I want to make it in Surrey. So I think it'll be a bit more hefty, because Surrey alpaca is a bit more hefty than mohair.
Yes.
But this is slightly torturous, so it won't be the next thing I knit. I can promise you that.
What's torturous about it?
It's just, it's fluffy.
Well, yes, that's the mohair.
It's lace weight, which I think is part of it. Is like,
right. So it's not really the Caitlin Hunter pattern.
No, it's not the pattern. It's more the yarn selection.
But the pattern called for this.
The pattern called for Surrey, and I'm using mohair.
Okay.
But I used stash, so there was that.
There was that, yes.
But other than that, I'm pretty pleased with it. The colors are beautiful.
They are.
And I think it'll be very wearable.
Extremely so, I think.
So, what have you been working on this week, Mom?
I have been working on a couple things. So, first of all, I like to report, don't hold your breath on my socks. They haven't moved because our friend that I was working on them for is stuck on another piece of knitting.
Just knitting mojo.
Oh, it's knitting mojo. She's lost her knitting mojo. So anyway, my second sock is here. I would like to finish the socks within the month of September, so we'll get back in touch and see if maybe I can finish off my sock and just show her. Maybe we'll just take pictures of the different stages, because I do love these socks. I do love these socks. These socks are gorgeous. So anyway, the sock is the same. However, Olivia has moved on.
Oh my God, Olivia has legs!
And I normally do one thing a week, which was an arm, included the hand, etc. But here the feet are knit separately. They are not knit as a part of the pants. So I said, well, you know, let's finish this section of the instructions, and then this week I will do feet, and the feet will become attached to the legs. And at that, then after that, there's a sweater.
Cardigan, I was going to say,
yes,
right?
there's a cardigan that goes with her. So we're not close to done, but we're getting there. So Olivia, I think, has quite the personality, and of course, then there's Olivia's face that we have to do. I'm going to have to draw that out so that I can get it applied to her face appropriately. But I'm really pleased. I don't think I've overstuffed her by any means, because the arms and the legs still move around. They don't stand out straight like kids do in snowsuits. And I'm very pleased with the whole thing. So that's Olivia, the update on Olivia. What do you want to do an update?
So I cast on my Pixelated Pullover.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I am almost halfway through the first color pixelation, which occurs while you're making the sleeves. So I started the pixelation a little bit further on in the pattern than was recommended by the pattern. And I did that based on the contiguous sleeve class that we took with Amy Deschgen.
Okay.
So it is interesting, like, trying to keep it kind of looking, you know, randomized. I think I'm doing okay.
I think it looks good.
I think it looks good.
Is that what the instructions say? Just random?
Well, she has a pattern, but she also says, you know, just as long as it looks randomized, keep going. So I'm just doing that. And then I'm thinking that I will be onto the solid blue by the time I get to casting or putting on holders for the sleeves. So at that point, I will do a few more inches into the body with the cyan color, and then I will move on and I will do the sleeves because I want to make sure that I have enough yarn for that. That is the most important to have the amount of yarn for, because I have very long arms. So yes, but I really love it. This is on Progression Worsted, which I think is a non-superwash base, non-superwash merino by Nerd Girl. And this was based on like chemistry colors. So I think this is RB. I actually don't remember what the teal is. And then I have the yellow for the cuffs and hem, and that's NA. Yeah, so this is coming along really well. I'm kind of trading off between one project and the other, as one being, well, this week, this was my on-calls knitting at work, and then I worked on the Engle otherwise. I think I might do one day, and so that I'm working on both at the same time, but we'll see. We will see. It is a short week, so.
It is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. So, speaking of short sleeves.
Yes.
We had a problem.
Yes.
With the traveling circle sweater.
Yes.
Part of the problem is that it's made in pieces, and the author of the pattern does not want it assembled until you have all the pieces done. So, as you know, I had done the outside circle. Ta-da! And then you do a sleeve, but the yoke is included in the sleeve. And so she has you do the left sleeve first, and then do the right sleeve. And don't pick up the provisional cast on here to do the right sleeve. No, she wants you to block them separately. Well, I had enough yarn. I had enough yarn for this sweater. I finished this sleeve. Now, it doesn't look like I finished it here because I've ripped it out. I finished this sleeve, but remember, it wasn't a part of the sweater, so I had no way of knowing how long the sleeve was. And then she says, start on the right-hand sleeve, which for me is here. Actually, this is the left-hand sleeve. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's a circle sweater. And I realized I was going to run out of yarn. So then I had to quickly think, what am I going to do to save this sweater? So what I have done is I have picked up a skein of Madeline Tosh that was from Nitty City. I believe it's called Manhattan Schist.
I think so.
And so I am going to do fat bands of Manhattan Schist.
About an inch wide, 2 inches wide?
It is 8 rows.
8 rows.
8 rows plus 2 rows. So it's 10 rows. So it's 8 rows to do the decrease plus it's 8 rows. Do a decrease row and then do another row after that. So it's a total of 10 rows in the band. And then I will alternate the Manhattan Schist with the flannel pajamas and do that for the entire sleeve. Do I like the sweater? I do like the sweater. I just don't like the way that it was said, that we were told
you were
to put it together.
Right. Construct.
Because what I finally did is I put it together. Oh, ignore the fact that this is wet because we had ribs tonight, and part of my ribs ended up on my shirt. But I think I got most of it out, so my watch is getting caught. So, this is how it is. So the circle is the body and the collar. So it's actually a smaller circle than the other one, which I think will be fine because sometimes you just don't want things that are huge. Mm-hmm. And obviously the yoke extends then the back of the sweater, the body of the sweater, to make it longer, which is very nice. I really, having made a previous circle sweater, I had something to compare this construction with. And I will say that my other circle sweater was much easier. Because what you do is you knit a yoke, and then from the yoke, you knit the sleeves. Excuse me. And so you've got this top back of a sweater. And then you cast on, I think it's 90 stitches. And then you start knitting those stitches around the yoke that you've made. It was a little difficult for me to get that orientation after I had cast on those 90 stitches. But I wrote to somebody who had already made the sweater, and she put it on the floor and pull that 90 stitches, just have it at 90 degrees. And you knit around it. She says, just look at it that way, you'll see it. And it was like light dawning on Marblehead. I mean, it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. This, because it's in so many pieces, then she doesn't want you to put it together until it's all done and properly blocked. Thank you. I wanted to say bound off, but it's blocked. I found that to be a problem. It seems to be a lighter sweater, even though the weight of the yarn is exactly the same. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think my previous sweater was neighborhood, so maybe just a little bit heavier, but not by much. Am I going to enjoy the sweater? Of course I'm going to enjoy the sweater. I think I'm even going to enjoy it better now that it's going to have gray stripes in it. Just because it will be perhaps not quite so purple. But just not happy because I did have a good amount of yarn. I never expected to be playing yarn chicken. And normally, all this yarn is in sweater quantities. So for me to go like this and pull out a skein would mean that I would be robbing from another sweater. Now, I do have this center section, which is leftovers and some sock yarns, and they're one-offs. So, yes, I could have put my hand in that section and pulled out a singleton. But it was these Nitty Cities that I only have one each of, and luckily I thought this one did pretty well. So I'm hoping to have both of these sleeves done by next week because I am so done with this sweater. I have woven in many of the ends. There are a lot more ends in this sweater than the other circle sweater, the Cocoon sweater. Mm-hmm. Which is 6 of one, half a dozen of another. But I have woven most of them in. Mm-hmm. The instructions keep talking about a right side and a wrong side. The right side appears to be the side that starts off with the knit 3, but you're working in rib. So honestly, it really doesn't matter. Rib can be turned over. So what I did was I picked up the provisional stitches, and now here's some ends that need to be pulled to the other side and then move it in. I picked up the provisional stitches for this, and let me see if I can find the join, and I knitted them together. So I have a 3 needle bind off to make that seam. And I prefer doing that rather than a Kitchener or any other kind of grafting. For me, it goes relatively quickly. I'm pretty happy with the whole thing. And honestly, if someone's that close to me in my sweater, they better be really good friends. I did the same thing to join the yokes in the back. If I ever did this pattern again, I would immediately pick up that provisional seam and knit outward. Actually, at the same time, I'd cast on the provisional. I'd knit 3 rows on the left-hand side, and then I'd pick it up and knit 3 rows on the right-hand side, and I would be knitting them consecutively, 2 at a time, so that I would have sleeves of exactly the same length. That's how I feel about it. I did get something in the mail, my warping board, but I left it downstairs. I'll bring it up perhaps next week. Okay. It's exactly what I thought it would be. Okay. So I'm very pleased with that. I have not finished with the towel that's on the loom because I've been trying to finish the sweater. I mean, I had a whole sleeve and a half done when I realized I was not going to have enough yarn. And then I was like, now what am I going to do? So the completed sleeve was taken out to just after the first decrease. Then it's going to be a band for the next decrease. So each one of these bands will represent one of the decrease rows. I'm supposed to be doing 16 of these decreases and then something like 28 rows. I'm going to do all of the decreases.
And then try it on.
So obviously some of those 28 rows don't need to be done. And I may do the 28 rows and the cuff. And the cuff is an I-cord bind off. That may be done in the gray. So I think that will look nice. So anyway, one of the nice things about knitting is that you can make alterations to the objects that you're making. But I was so involved in this week that after I worked on Olivia, this is the only thing I worked on this week. So the My Boy Lollipop just didn't get touched. But after this it will, and I will finish off that towel. If not this week because it's a short week, then maybe next week because I have the next set of towels ready and in. And now that I've got the warping board, we just have to order that plexi. It's a thin mylar type of thing that you can slip in as you're winding your warp so that it doesn't sink into itself and cause uneven tension. So very excited about that. The bigger loom, I'm still waiting on my reed, and I probably should call them and see where it is. I had gotten an email several weeks ago saying, well, it will be delayed 3 to 4 weeks. I guess the sheep were making it. But I ordered it from a company that has a good reputation. I've ordered things from before, so I'm sure it'll eventually come. And Lord knows I am not bereft of projects. I haven't done much, almost nothing. I don't think I've done anything since I've seen you all on the counter cross stitch because, again, this thing took all of my focus. Can you believe it's Labor Day? Where did the summer go? And I know a lot of people were probably frustrated with this summer because of trying to isolate.
Or distance. And we were very lucky. I mean, we've had a sailboat now for 4 or 5 years. This is the 5th summer? Something like that. So. And so for us, it's really easy to socially distance when you're on a boat. We can see our friends and wave to them, one boat to the other. And it means you do get outside. And I think I mentioned before that we had started looking at apartments, but then when this whole thing came upon us, and you have to remember we're from New York, so that we had a high number of cases relatively early. One thing that we realized, it was nice to have the extra space outside. So if I was getting stir crazy, I could get up and I could walk around the house outside. We actually have almost a continuous path that's relatively easy to walk all the way around, then up to the front walk, sidewalk, and then around that way. It makes it nice to have alternatives. So we probably won't be looking at apartments again for quite a long time because it's nice to have that. The other thing that has come up is that if you live in New York State, and were interested in getting an absentee ballot, they now have set up online where you can online request an absentee ballot. I was going to say, everyone should check and confirm that they are registered, even if you voted in primaries. I know of 2 people who were not on the rolls, even though they voted in the primaries in June.
Interesting. No, I did go through the whole rigmarole and check that I was registered. Yes, I am, because I've also gotten all kinds of postcards.
I understand. I just,
but I had no idea.
I had 2 people I saw on my Instagram who were saying, everyone checking, you might think you're registered because you voted, you've already voted this year. Just confirm it.
Yes.
And make sure you know your state's regulations for registering. So, yeah, that's...
So anyway, and I have already requested an absentee ballot because I don't know how I'm going to feel with my knee. Yes. I think I will be fine, and I do know that starting October 27th that we will have early voting here in New York, and I did that last time.
Yes.
And it worked out extremely well.
Yeah.
There was nobody there when I went in, except for the 12 people from the city or from the town that were working at the polls.
Yep.
So that was excellent.
And that's my plan because as we are still, social distancing and being careful, even with work, it gives me a reason to get out of my apartment, to go for a walk, if nothing else.
Yes.
So that is good. But you did say you started something else.
I started back with the Skew Sock, which I am doing in dribs and drabs. The same yarn as before. Okay. I'm doing dribs and drabs again on Zoom meetings and hoping with doing it a little bit by little bit, maybe I won't get confused.
Okay.
There's always that, possibility. The other thing I may end up doing is just sitting down with it and focusing with it and not trying to do anything else. We'll see. I have been watching the Tour de France.
Yes. You've learned how to DVR.
I have. I've had no reason to DVR up until now, and I know some people must be holding their heads, going, "Oh my god!" But
she's DVRing.
I'm DVRing like a champ now.
Yeah, you're DVRing for the Tour de France.
That's right. So I'm very excited about that. Let's see. Anything else? What would you like to talk about now? I think that's all our news.
Yeah. So Mood is having a sale this weekend. So I had sent Mom an email with some fabrics for the back of that burgundy cape that I want to make. And
the inside. And I said 2 out of
yeah, and I can't remember which
they were the 2 plaids.
The houndstooth and the...
No, actually I didn't like that. I liked the plain black and then the little...
and then the chevron.
Yes.
Alright, let me see if I can find... So the one I was just showing was a gray and black houndstooth. I don't know what I just did there. Super fun. Let me check my sent messages. But I also was thinking about the coat Mom had wanted to make, the cape, as she kept on calling it, the cape coat.
The cape coat. Oh, and
really, what you've described and we had a whole text thread about this, and really, it is more of an Ulster coat that you're looking for than the cape coat. You're looking for a coat with a cape.
Yes. And by the way.
Yes.
The Duchess of Cambridge.
Yes.
Was in a picture with hers. Yes.
Yes.
So,
it is still an Ulster coat, not a cape coat.
Well, do you remember I just told you about Speedboat Bingo?
Boat Race Bingo?
No, it's called Poker Run.
I know, but you kept on calling it Boat Race Bingo.
I called it Boat Race Bingo. You're right. You're absolutely right, because in my mind, that's what it is. And I was saying I felt sorry for the speedboats this year, because normally there's a lot of different events that people with speedboats get involved with, and one is what I call Speedboat Bingo.
Boat Race Bingo is what she called it.
All right, and you get in your fast boat and you drive out to these different marinas and restaurants, and you say, "I'm participating, please let me have a card." And you get back in your boat and you boom off to another location and get another card. And
it's randomized cards. There is no strategy to this. I already asked to see if there was a strategy to where you go, or if you're the first one, or if you're the third. Yeah, no. Yeah.
So I cracked my daughter and my husband up because I called it Boat Race Bingo, when my husband said, "No, it's called Poker Run."
The Poker Run.
Yes. So apparently you're supposed to get the best poker hand out of this. I honestly thought they were getting cards that they match with the bingo thing. Obviously, we've never had a fast boat.
Obviously. Yes. So one of the other ones was this houndstooth, which you can't really see on screen. It's a very light
I like
gray houndstooth. I do too. So I think I'm going to go with that. As I said, it's only good for the next, 2.5 hours, because it's 9:30 right now, and it goes till 12:30. So there is percentage off on Mood. I think it's like 20% store-wide. So if you see this in the next 2.5 hours, have at it. I know Mood is expensive, and I do try to use, I have looked at Fab Scrap already. Unfortunately, it's hard to find wool coat material.
Because it needs to be heavy.
A heavier, coat material is harder to find. From a lot of places, I've tried looking at a lot of the different sites, and I'm currently not going into Midtown, so going to any of the different places in the fabric district that are open right now. You
could ask for samples to be sent to you.
Right, of Mood.
Yes.
But I'm saying the places that are, don't
Less
have
expensive.
and don't have an online presence, but have a very wide selection, you know, I would probably go for a walk, but I do not have that luxury right now.
Right.
So I just wanted to put that out there that yes, I understand that mood is not always the most economical choice.
No.
But that is
But
okay.
20% off is 20% off.
Yes. And I was thinking about getting some power mesh for leggings so we can put pockets.
Well, that's a good idea.
So that was it. That was my thoughts. But other than that, I lost my oomph when we came back because I've got masks to make
Yes, you
this
do.
week.
You said you were going to make them yesterday, and you
Yeah,
didn't.
well, as I said, I've been very sleepy. Okay.
Are you going to work on them
I
now?
can work on yours. I can get them. I can get. My cousin wanted a few more for her husband. Well, I offered, and then they have said that they don't need them. He's like, I have 2, and I'm like, I'm making you more. So he will be getting more. He starts. Teachers start back this coming up week. Yes, so tomorrow, and kids start in 2 weeks. So I will get them over to him this week.
Right.
But I can work on them at the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
But I can try and get yours, because yours is that other one. I can try and get that done before I head out.
I'll wait till next week. I've got my...
You've got all of your different ones.
Right, I've got my goth-looking mask, and I've got my...
Yes.
Several different types of disposables.
Okay.
I mean, the only place I'm going is either physical therapy...
Right.
The boat...
Yeah.
Or surgery.
True.
So,
So you don't need these until after, when you're more mobile anyways.
Right. I mean, tomorrow would be nice, but that's just the way it goes.
I mean, we'll see.
You have to go to work.
I do have to go to work. The fact that work is still at my apartment is awesome.
That is awesome.
I do acknowledge that is
a lucky break.
A very lucky break I have. But it is very appreciated.
Meanwhile, Rich and I are giddy that we actually decided to retire 2 years ago.
Yeah.
At the time, we decided 2 years ago to retire when we did.
Yes.
And absolutely giddy that we actually made that decision, because I don't know how we could sell a dental practice at this point. Anyway, we're lucky that we made that decision.
Yeah.
So we're kind of footloose and fancy-free, except for my knees. And hopefully the surgery will help that. We'll keep you posted, obviously, on that.
Yes.
I don't expect it to be a walk in the park. Anybody saying, well, listen to her. I don't expect it to be a walk in the park. I expect it to be pretty darn painful for at least the first, I understand, 7-8 weeks. But everybody else I've talked to says that after that, it's pretty nifty. So I'm looking forward to that part. I got it. It's going to be a lot of work.
It's going to suck, but it's going to be great after.
Right.
Once you get through it sucks.
And I've been doing physical therapy for about 2 years since I tore that knee in the parking lot 2 years ago in July. So I'm in relatively good shape.
In terms of knee health, yes.
Yes. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, anything else that we have to talk about?
I think that's about it. It's a short one this week, because we have been pretty. I mean, we've been not monogamous or monogamous, but we've been decently monogamous.
Well, as I said, this sweater was causing me agita.
And so I've just been trying to put as many rows on the Engle as possible.
I really wanted to be done with it because it's been enough already.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put it aside, but there's so many things that I look around this room, and there are so many things I want to cast on. And my fingers are itching for something different. So it's not that big projects are a problem, really. It's just that you want, at a certain point, I want to be done. And I want to be done now. And now I'm mad because I have to fiddle with the yarn. Mm-hmm. But I think it will be better.
It will be.
Yes.
I mean, I have found Joji Locatelli put out a new pattern this week or the week before. It's got some beautiful cables in it. It's a V-neck.
Ooh, sounds lovely.
I'm kind of a fan, and it might happen. Not right away, but it definitely might happen. And then there is a new sweater called the... I think it's called... It just froze on me. Right.
There you go.
Yeah. Called the Love Witch, which has these phenomenal sleeves. So the Hohi is called the Tomás. Look at those sleeves.
Oh, that is nifty.
Those are super amazing sleeves.
I don't think I would do that because I know I would get them in everything.
Oh, I'm going to. I'm going to be extra, and I'm thinking about making it in black. I have a dress I just got, or I ordered.
I mean, it looks lovely, but I know me.
Yeah. Well, I have a dress I just ordered that is more of a summer dress, but I think I could wear that sweater over it, and
it would be lovely.
It would be superb. But I'm going to wait until I have the dress in hand so that I can match the black to it.
Because there are different blacks.
Because there are different blacks. But yeah, it's so pretty.
Very nice.
But other than that, I mean, it's been a really, just
focused week.
Yeah. We've been trying to get stuff done.
Yes. I mean, I still haven't cleared out what's under here.
No.
One of these days. And I'd like to try and remember what I had gotten all that out for.
I mean, we could go back and look in the videos.
I guess. But anyway, so things are moving along.
Yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess...
So stay safe.
Stay
Socially
safe.
distanced.
Yes.
Wear your mask.
Yes. And make sure you're registered to vote.
Yes.
And I guess we will talk to you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.